Samuel de Champlain founded the city of Quebec in 1608 on the site of an Indian settlement, the word for which gave Canada its name. 25 souls inhabited the city entering its first winter. In the spring, 8 remained alive, the majority of the dead having succumbed to scurvy. Today, Quebec is home to 600,000 Canadians, but the winter remains as harsh as ever. The word Quebec is Algonquin for where the river narrows, or narrow passage, depending on your source material, and the city is located at the narrowest point on the 1,000-kilometer-long St. Lawrence River, which empties the Great Lakes Basin into the Atlantic Ocean. Encamped above the river with cannons on either side, he who held Quebec owned the Great Lakes, a fact that explains her dubious status as the most bombed city in North America. Quebec is also the only continuously preserved and maintained walled city in North America. Within the wall, the walking streets of Place Royale present 4 centuries of European civilization. And Quebec feels very European, with its narrow winding lanes, sidewalk cafes, and many church spires. Since the mid-19th century, the population of Quebec City has remained between 76 and 82% francophone. That said, it is a remarkably welcoming place for English speakers, who will generally find they can get along fine in their native tongue. At the highest point of land atop the river stands the Citadel, the largest military installation in North America. Begun in 1820, its construction took 30 years and covers 37 acres, 320 feet above the river. It remains an active military garrison to this day. A few minutes east of the old city, along the main highway, a surprise waits around the bend. The Montmorency waterfall plunges down a sheer cliff face from a height the locals and the guidebooks both are pleased to tell you is greater than Niagara. At its base is an information center and gift shop, and from there one may ascend to the bridge above the drop, either by cable car or a series of stairs and resting platforms. With a full load of camera gear, you may guess which choice I made. The views over the river and across the L'Île d'Orléans are alone worth the $7 round-trip ticket. But the cable car is also the easy way to access the Falls Museum and food and beverage area. During the summer, the base of the falls is the setting for a spectacular light and fireworks display. A further surprise is the fact that salmon and several other varieties of eating fish may be caught in the quiet waters between the falls and the St. Lawrence. No, they don't survive the drop. They come in on the tide that makes the St. Lawrence almost unique among Canadian rivers. After too brief a stay in Quebec, we traveled east along the river into the region known as the Charlevoix. Once through Bay St. Paul, a thriving painters' community that marks the gateway to the region, we found ourselves twisting, turning, climbing, and descending through spectacular scenery that only a passenger could enjoy and live to describe. With some relief, we arrived in La Malbaie, a river community said to have been named by Champlain himself, when, having left his ship at anchor in the bay, he returned to find it grounded by the ebb tide. "What a bad bay," he remarked, and so it became. The river tides are amplified as it nears the Gulf of St. Lawrence and the Atlantic Ocean, leaving the bay all but empty at some hours, with large boulders visible from shore to shore. La Malbaie is a very old tourist area, a favorite of the wealthy for more than 100 years, and accommodation is plentiful. Our package at the Auberge La Rochelle included a private entrance and sunroom with full-size fridge, an amenity that made picnicking particularly convenient, as did the availability of unusual foodstuffs like smoked eel and sturgeon, and wonderful local cheeses. You are tempted to doubt your eyesight when you discover Le Manoir Richelieu. It seems too grand, too perfect, too beautiful to sit on the outskirts of a small Quebec river town. But there it is, more than 400 rooms, immaculate grounds, a casino beside it, and connected by tunnel to protect its pampered guests from inclement weather in any season. Inside the mammoth lobby space, sturdy columns present framed sketches done in 1840 of scenes throughout the province, including many we had recently seen in their modern aspect. There is a graduate-level history course in the images, artifacts, and documents distributed throughout the public spaces of this awe-inspiring resort. Its warmth, grace, comfort, and historical context seem to sum up the experience of a visit to eastern Quebec. And when you have made the trip, you are all but certain to return.